Okay, so I'm here with Charley Boorman. It's great to be here. Charley, of course, is a very distinguished traveller and travel writer, and I wanted to really pick his brains and get some advice today for the weekly video diary. So, Charley, how important generally is preparation in terms of sort of mentally, physically, the logistics, the whole sort of practical aspects of your adventures? How important is it?
I think when you're going to start a project, especially one like yours, 50 days. It was good luck, by the way. Yeah, of course. I think everything needs to be planned, and especially with what you want to do is film it, and you've got a support crew following you, physio, food, all those kind of stuff, and all that needs to be worked out properly. I mean, luckily you're not really going through any border crossings and stuff. You're in Europe. Essentially, you don't need a passport. But all of that needs to be ready and set in your course and your route and where you're going to sleep and everything needs to be done. But I remember years ago when I first started Long Way Round with Ewan, we went and did some hostile environmental training, and a lot of it was to do with first aid and stuff like that, which is what you won't need. And one of the guys who was an ex-SAS guy who was teaching us, he said, look, if you can survive the prep, then the journey is actually really easy. And I'm sure you'll find that. I'm sure by the time you get to your point of leaving, you'll just be so desperate to just go and do it, And I feel very excited for you because once you've done all your prep and done all your organisation, I mean, like for us, we had different countries and visas, work permits, film permits, county permits. I mean, it was crazy. But that feeling of going and all you concentrate for your 50 days is your run and nothing else, and it's quite liberating.
Yeah, good, fantastic. And on the sort of commercial side, I mean, obviously we're in a tough climate economically at the moment. Would you say sort of potential investors, sponsors is there an element of sort of weariness at the moment, or is there still an appetite for mad adventures and schemes?
I think
for people to back, or companies to back you.
I think as far as sponsorship goes, I think it's always tricky. I think even in a very strong climate, it's still difficult to get sponsorship. I think at the moment it's even harder. But I think sponsorship is all about knocking on doors of companies and stuff, and eventually coming across somebody who's high enough, who's into running.
Yeah.
Or you need to click with that person. And I think once you've clicked with that person, if that person likes it, then you've got the money. But it's the hardest thing is to try and find.
You just got to be tenacious and keep knocking on doors.
And you just got to keep knocking on doors and keep going. And 99% of the time, people are going to say no.
Yeah.
What does help with sponsorship is what do they get for it?
The benefits for that.
And so to have a bit of press, or to have a newspaper, or to have a magazine, or to have a really good website, and Twitter and Facebook and all those viral things, if they're all set up nicely and they see that you've got a good package, then your chances are much higher. Rather than someone just coming and say, look, this is what I want to do, give me some money. And they want, if someone gives you money, you want, what are you going to get for that?
Yeah. So
that's very important.
That's good advice. Some of the adventures you've done in the past have taken weeks, if not months, of planning. Have you got any tips in terms of when you start these challenges? How do you keep up your enthusiasm? And you look very upbeat on film. And how do you keep your focus and sort of morale high when you're feeling low?
I think absolutely. I think keeping your morale high and stuff is for me very easy, because it's a project that myself and my team have come up with. We've gone out, found the money, done the production stuff, and so as I said before, by the time you get all that crap that goes on beforehand, and just to get out there and do it, you're so excited about that. I mean, you're going to have big lows and huge lows, and you're going to be sitting there thinking, why am I doing this? And then you always got to remember that it was your idea,
yes.
And that you got no one else to blame.
So that's what yourself. You do. It's a psychology, isn't it?
So if you're sitting there and you go, God, I really can't just do anything to get out of it, and then you've got to remember, oh, actually, this is all my fault. I can't blame anyone. There's no blame culture, because it's all down to you.
Exactly.
So and you seem extremely passionate about what you want to do, and that'll come across in the show.